Unprecedented threats to American national security. During his recent appearance before Congress, Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley warned of war dangers beyond Ukraine.
We are entering a world that is becoming more unstable, and the potential for significant international conflict between great powers is increasing.
If Ukraine is only the start of what could become a bigger, broader conflict, perhaps even an eventual world war, just how prepared is the U.S. military to take on the challenge? Well, joining us is a member of the House Armed Services Committee, Florida Congressman Mike Waltz. Congressman Waltz is a highly decorated U.S. Army veteran who served as a Special Forces officer in Afghanistan, and he's the first Green Beret elected to Congress. He's written a new children's book, Dawn of the Brave. Congressman Waltz, it's a pleasure. And before we discuss your book, let's talk defense budget here, the rising threats and the readiness of U.S. military, because you serve on the Armed Services Committee. So President Biden says his proposed $773 billion defense budget would provide the funds needed to ensure our military remains the best prepared, best trained, and best equipped military in the world. And he proposes the decommissioning of 24 Navy ships at a time when China is creating the largest Navy in the world. So is the U.S. lagging behind China and Russia in things like development of hypersonic technology? And do we need to do a better job of preparing for a bigger war than may be coming?
Yeah, we absolutely do. And this defense budget is inadequate. What the Pentagon admitted during a hearing was they used a 4% inflation figure. And we're seeing that inflation is truly at 8.5%, if not higher. So, do the math on a $800 billion budget. That's tens of billions of dollars. The military is actually going backward. At the same time, China is rapidly expanding its nuclear arsenal. As you mentioned, its Navy is now larger than the U.S. Navy, but they can concentrate theirs in one ocean. Ours is spread around the world. And their Air Force is new. They have stolen their way to the top in terms of taking our stealth technology, drone technology, hypersonics, and others. And they're launching more into space than the rest of the world combined. And I can tell you firsthand, they are developing offensive weaponry in space. You can't be number one on Earth if you're number two on space. So with all of that, we still have to deal with Russia, North Korea, Iran as they race towards a nuclear weapon, and keep a lid on global terrorism. What this administration is proposing is not enough, and we have all of that. It is our money that is fueling their military buildup, and that's why I'm telling every group I can, when you see made in China, put it down. Made in America isn't just a jobs issue, it's a human rights issue, and it's a national security issue.
I've got to ask you about Ukraine as well. As the fighting in Ukraine shifts to the eastern and southern fronts there, Russia's threatening on another one of its fronts against its neighbor Finland, because that country and Sweden have expressed interest in joining NATO this summer. And the Russians have warned both countries against NATO membership. Russia held military exercises near the Finnish border, and heavy equipment, including missile systems, were seen moving near the border this week. Now, we can't verify the video. It appeared on Twitter. But if that's legitimate, this would be threatening, wouldn't it? How should the U.S. and NATO respond?
Well, this could be one of the long-term blowbacks against Putin. If Finland and Sweden actually submit their membership application, so to speak, to NATO, which by all accounts, it looks like Finland will do this June, that's a huge win for NATO, and that is a huge blow to Putin. Finland has the longest land border with Russia. They have a long history of Russian invasions. They've seen now that if you're not in NATO, we may help you defend yourself, but we're not treaty obligated to actually come to your defense. But both countries are incredibly capable, both economically and militarily, and getting them into NATO should be something this administration aggressively supports.
Well, Colonel, how do we address that, though, if they're moving missiles near the border with Finland?
This is, Russian intimidation tactics, right? But we've seen Finland, within polling, Finland popular opinion, say, you know what, we need to be into that NATO defensive umbrella, because what Russia is doing to Ukraine, they could do to us next. And we need to stand strong diplomatically, economically, and militarily with Finland. The difficulty is going to be as they're applying, if Russia decides to get more aggressive, we're not treaty obligated until they're actually in. And so they'll be in a dangerous period. But the Biden administration can't be afraid of Putin. And they can't be afraid of escalation. Putin doesn't want a war with NATO or the United States because he knows he'll lose. We have to stand strong. We have to make him fear us. That's how deterrence works, is peace through strength.
And your new children's book, Dawn of the Brave, is timely. Many children are trying to understand what's happening in Ukraine. And I'm sure you believe there are some lessons they can learn from the war, also from your book. So tell us about the book. What's the takeaway for the kids?
Well, the book is actually part of a series. It's published by bravebooks.com. You can find it on bravebooks.com, not on Amazon. The kids get one per month, and that's focused on traditional values, family, faith. In the case of my book, serving your country through teamwork and coming together. Look, we've seen what's happened in Virginia with the school system there. We're seeing what's happening with Disney. We're seeing a left-wing agenda to put this nonsense in the minds of our kids. We have to take our kids' education back. We have to get good content into their hearts and minds, and just really proud to be a part of this effort.
Okay, Congressman Michael Waltz, thank you for your service in Afghanistan and on Capitol Hill. The book is Dawn of the Brave, and you said people can get a copy online.
All right. Yeah, thanks so much.
Okay.
God bless.
Thank you.